Friends, I am Shivashish Karnani. I am a practicing advocate. I would be today discussing the judgment of Honorable Delhi High Court in the case of brand equities and others. Delhi High Court in this case has categorically held that timeline of 90 days for carry forward of transitional credit pertaining to service tax and excise regime by way of Tran 1 form which expired on 27 December 2017 is only directory and not mandatory. Delhi High Court has not only allowed the petitioners but all the assessees who were not able to carry forward TRAN credit for any reason whatsoever, be it technical glitches, be it that the accounts team person was not available, be it that the consultant advice was given wrongly. It can be for any reason has allowed carry forward of transitional credit till 30th June 2020. It can be filed either online or it can be filed manually with the department till this date 30th June 2020. With this, let's proceed discussing the judgment, facts, ratios and observations of this judgment. Of the Constitution of India was filed by the petitioner. The challenge rule 117 which provided 90 days timeline for carry forward of transitional credit, that is credits pertaining to service tax and excise regime into the GST law. They also challenged rule 117A which provides that in case of technical glitches, GST Council can recommend the name of the assessees in respect of which date can be extended by the commissioner. They specifically challenge this provision on the ground that restricting this provision on the ground of technical glitches is arbitrary, is unconstitutional. The reason for non-filing of transitional 1 form or incorrect filing of transitional form was varied, and in the batch of petitions the reasons were consultant advised for refund and therefore the assessee haven't filed the TRAN 1 form. This is one of the reasons for non-filing of TRAN 1 and accordingly non-carry forward of the transitional credit into the GST regime. Group level accounting is done. We normally know that in many organizations accounting is done on group level, and it is difficult to collate the data at the micro level, at the entity level, at the India level. Technical glitches, we very well know. I think I don't need to discuss anything on this. Last minute chaos, again last minute chaos, nothing need to be discussed on this. GSTN portal behaves as if it is unable to implement the provisions of the law even when we are having this portal from last 3 years. Ill health of the managing director. The managing director or any director who is responsible for the implementation of GST compliances was on leave or was not well and he was on ill health. Errors were received while filing, incorrect filing. It can be any reason whatsoever. It is another fact that irrespective of the fact whether physical copy of the TRAN 1 is filed by the assessee or not, this benefit of this ruling is available even to those assessees. It can be any reason, it can be any reason whatsoever for non-filing of transitional credit or incorrect filing of transitional credit, and the assessees can avail the benefit of this judgment and they can approach the department to file their TRAN 1 form, which I'm going to discuss further as well. Next is observations and ratios of this judgment. The court took many observations. It decided the case very sacrosanctly and very nicely, and these observations are captured in this slide. It stated that on 30th June 2017 there was complete overhaul of the system. On a single day, everything, the history of indirect tax laws were changed at a go. The compliances were made online, even in respect of those assessees which are in the rural areas or semi-urban areas or even in the urban areas but not able to use the technology to that extent which is required by the GSTN portal. Therefore, they stated that setting the things all at a go disturbed the entire process. The GSTN system was on a trial run phase, and even still it is on a trial run phase, and you cannot expect everyone to comply with this provision within a 30 days timeline, or even for that matter within the period of 27 December 2017, when you yourself are not ready for this system, for the GST Act. Technical difficulty as stated in Rule 1171A cannot be one-way street. It stated that technical difficulties can be to the assessees as well. You extend the timeline on technical difficulties only when the portal is not functioning. What about the assessees? It cannot be one-way street, because one-way street violates Article 14 of the Constitution of India, which provides that there should be equality. Where there is equality, this article specifically provide that the respondent cannot have double standards, and therefore this rule is ultra virus to the provision of Article 14 of the Constitution of India as well. Even when the technical glitches were faced and the assessee is not able to prove those technical glitches, the benefit of doubt, which is the burden of proof, is on the department and not on the assessee. The benefit of doubt would be given to the assessee, and burden of proof is on the department to prove that the assessee was not able to file technical glitches other than technical glitches. Section doesn't specify of the time period. Section, we know section 141, under which Rule 117 and 1171A are framed, doesn't specify of any time period. The time period is only specified by way of subordinate legislation. Even this section doesn't specify that the time period shall be in a manner as may be prescribed. It only says that the form is going to be filed in a prescribed manner, which is Tran 1 as notified by the rules. It doesn't say that it is going to be filed in a prescribed period. So that means the section does not envisage any timeline for filing transitional form. The timeline which is introduced by the subordinate legislation cannot curtail the right which is accrued and which is provided by way of a section enacted by the Act of Parliament. Reliance was also placed on the judgment of Bluebird Pure Private Limited and AB Pal Electricals, which were also decided by Honorable Delhi High Court. First judgment, Bluebird, specifically dealt with the Tran 1 form also. This was decided in year 2018. This was filed in 2018 and decided in year 2019. As per this judgment, the technical glitches are there on the portal, and the portal is still on the trial hit and trial run phase, even after 3 years now since the inception of GST. AB Pal Electricals judgment stated that credit accrued is a vested right. Credit represents a vested right and it cannot be taken away by a subordinate legislation. Credit is a property under Article 300A of the Constitution of India, and property cannot be lapsed except by way of authority of law. No one can be deprived of any property except by the authority of law as provided under Article 300A. The law as stated should be enacted by the Act of Parliament rather than a subordinate legislation. The court distinguished the ruling of Godrej and Boyce Manufacturing Company Limited and ALD Automotive Private Limited. This judgment provided that concession or credits is a right which is subject to rules, and doesn't mean that it is a vested right. It can be subject to rules. The court distinguished this ruling on the ground that this ruling states that entitlement of credit is subject to restrictions. The assessees in this case have complied with these restrictions, these conditions which were provided. It is only the carry forward of the credit which is already vested is being challenged. The Supreme Court dealt with the vesting provisions, whether the credit can be vested or not. In this case, the question is whether the credit can be carried forward or not. It is already being vested, and we are already one step further to this judgment, which was decided by Honorable Supreme Court. However, it doesn't mean that the credit can be carried forward in perpetuity. even when the provision is not specifically provided in the section 141 that no time period has been specified. This doesn't mean that SSC can carry forward the credit even after 5 to 10 years. Obviously, there are timelines. The court linked this timeline with the residuary provision of the Limitation Act. The court stated that under the residuary provision of the Limitation Act, timeline of 3 years is being provided to invoke the court or approach the court from the date of cause of action. This timeline is going to apply for civil rights, since transitional credit represents a civil right, and therefore this timeline of 3 years is going to apply for carry forward of transitional credit. That means 3 years from the inception of GST, which is getting expired on 30th June 2020. After 3 years to 30th June 2020. However, doesn't mean that it can be carried forward in perpetuity, as I discussed. The court also referred to the judgment of Salem Advocates Bar Association, which was decided by Honorable Supreme Court, wherein it was stated that procedural law is not a tyrant. Tyrant means the procedural law is not a ruler. It is only a servant, and the servant of primary legislation which is enacted by the Act of Parliament. It cannot be an obstruction, but it is an aid to justice. It is an aid for enforcement of principal legislation. It cannot be an obstruction which obstructs the provision or which obstructs the benefit or the conditions which are provided by the principal legislation. Even Rule 1171A specifically reflects that the timeline is never considered by the government to be mandatory. This rule being extended from time to time on account of technical glitches, and technical glitches, as I stated, cannot be a one-way street, itself represent that the date is not considered to be mandatory or sacrosanct by the government. Therefore, the timeline in Rule 117 to be read as directory and not mandatory. Final conclusion was this, that this timeline is considered to be directory and not mandatory. Timeline expires on 30th June 2020. Now, having said this, how to take this judgment or how to take this benefit of this judgment forward? So I prepared another slide on the way forward approach with the assessees, not only the petitioner of this case, with the assessees across Delhi can approach or take a call. Other taxpayers also allowed to avail the benefit of the judgment. This is specifically captured in the judgment that there should be wide publicity of the judgment should be given by the respondent, that means Union of India, and assessees, even though not the petitioner, should be allowed to take the benefit of the judgment. Either Tran 1 should be opened up, Tran 1 form should be opened up for filing on the online portal. Nothing like this. If it is open, nothing is going to be like this, because all the assessees across India would be allowed to carry forward transitional credit again, which is left over. If not opened up, it is recommended, it is suggested, and even directed by the Honorable Delhi High Court that manual Tran 1 should be filed with department. Manual Tran 1, so Tran 1 form can be filed manually with the department. Many times a question comes is, if the department doesn't accept this manual Tran 1, what is the way forward which we can adopt? So in this case, it is suggested that the Tran 1 should be sent to the department by way of speed post or any registered post acknowledgement due. This Tran 1 can be sent by way of post, and the delivery receipt should be procured for further references. Even if your jurisdictional officer under GST falls with the state GST office, it is better to approach the central GST office, since the judgment is pertaining to service tax and excise. Even though the cross reference to state VAT can also be taken, however, specifically this judgment deals with service tax and excise. Therefore, it is recommended that you approach your concerned jurisdictional officer who was assigned to you before 30th June 2017, before inception of GST, and file that Tran 1 form with him. Once filed, the officer is going to take up this matter with the jurisdictional nodal officer. The nodal officer list is also provided in the link given, which I have already captured in this presentation as well. Having said this, till the time the department files this, approaches the Supreme Court, this law is settled. The assessee should take the benefit of this judgment. However, if in case after 10 days or after 15 days or after a month or after any period, the department approaches Honorable Supreme Court, in that case, I am of the humble view that the case is going to be dismissed summarily, because of the fact that in the case of Edford Technologies, as decided by the Punjab and Haryana High Court, the department SLP was dismissed summarily by the Honorable Supreme Court without even going into the merits of the case. Therefore, it is high time that assessees should approach department and file their Tran 1, the credit which was left over to be taken into GST regime. With this, I close my presentation. I am available on this email ID and mobile number mentioned below in this presentation, shivashish.advocate@gmail.com.